Hi there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today. This is our weekly series where we inspire, empower, and educate you through life's transitions to reinvent your life. And on this show each week, I bring on the coolest, most amazing, awesome CEOs, authors, coaches, experts, influencers, and truly life changers in their field. And they talk about their story on how they went through their own reinvention process to come out on the other side, the successes that they are, and they share their stories with us. And I am so excited about today's show because my guest today is a friend and a mentor. It's Noah St. John. Noah, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks, Diane. Great to be here with you, and great to see everybody today.
It is so great. So what I'm going to do is I will first tell you what the theme of the show is this week and our intention statement. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Noah and what our three topics are, the three I'm honored to be a part of with you. All right. So the theme for the show this week is this: how to master your mindset and habits to create a richer life, because you can't just work on the one without working on the other. So it's so critically important that we do that. So, and the intention for the show is this: I have today to ask myself better questions to have the life that I want. And this is the thing that I've discovered, and I know you know this too, Noah, that so many people are not asking themselves, not only are they not asking themselves questions, they're certainly not asking themselves the right questions. And you are the master at this, and your work has totally changed my life. So let me read you Noah's bio, and then we'll get into the three reasons why this is so important for today. All right. Noah St. John is known as the Power Habits Mentor and is famous for helping entrepreneurs get rid of their head trash and make more money. Okay, who wants to make more money, right? Noah is the only author in history to have works published by Hay House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Mind Valley, Nightingale Conant, and the Chicken Soup for the Soul publisher. He also appears frequently in the news worldwide, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Parade Magazine, Entrepreneur.com, and the Huffington Post. And I've actually interviewed him. He's going to be part of my World Manifestation Summit, which I'm so honored to have you. So, and actually your credentials go on and on, way more than this. How many books have you published, Noah?
14, and they're now published in 18 languages.
14 books in 18 languages. Yeah. Outstanding. Just amazing. Amazing. So, all right. So part of the reason why we picked this topic, so relevant, and you are also known as you've helped coaching clients add $500 million in sales. Amazing. And then also you're the leading authority on how to eliminate limiting beliefs, which is such a huge project of mine as well. It's such a focal point of the work that I do, which is why I like you so much. There's so much symmetry here. But the reason why you want to tune in and pay attention to this is because if you're not experiencing all the love, money, success, and happiness that you want in your life, then what you're doing isn't working. You need to look at that, and things need to change. Your thoughts need to change, your mindset needs to change, your habits need to change. So in order to do that, three things that you have to do right away. This is sort of the what. Noah will get into the how. But the what is this: you need to decide what it is you want. Clearly decide what it is you want. You have to visualize yourself actually having it as if it's already done. And you have to get into the feeling space of it. Because until you do that work up front, you can't do the other things. It's so important to decide what it is you want. This is the thing that I know with my clients. I'm sure you hear this too. There's such a level of ambiguity and lack of clarity and focus in so many ways, right? Mm-hmm. So how we do that is what we're going to talk about with Noah. But first, I want to talk to you, Noah, about the book you've written. So you recently wrote a new book, which I've read, actually, called Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. That so many people are talking about this book. Now, why did you, oh, there it is, right there, yes. There it is. Why did you write this book, and why did you write it now?
Well, thanks, Diane. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it so much coming from you. And it's just really, really a privilege to be here with everybody. So basically, the book, as you mentioned, is called Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. Now, the reason that I wrote this book is because I've been teaching people how to get rid of their head trash for over 20 years. I started my company, which is successclinic.com, in my college dorm room in 1997 with $800 and a book on how to do HTML. So I really had no money, no marketing experience, no sales experience, no accounting, business. I had had a bunch of jobs before, a bunch of what I call survival jobs. I'd done everything, never really made any money. Right. But I was, at that time, I was in college as a religious studies major, studying religious studies, and I knew I wanted to be an author, and I knew I wanted to be a speaker, but I didn't know what I wanted to talk about or write about. I just made a commitment from even before I ever wrote my first book. As you mentioned, now I've written 14 books in 18 languages. But even before all of this started, I made a commitment that I wasn't going to just say what everybody else said. That, for those of us who are in this personal growth, the personal development industry, we pretty much know that everybody kind of says the same thing and they just sort of repeat it, and it's just sort of regurgitated. And I just said, I'm not going to do that. It's just really, it was aggravating to me to hear the same stories and the same thing over and over. And I really wasn't getting any better. I wasn't seeing any results, even though I'd spent all this time, money, and effort on all those different programs, but I wasn't seeing any growth in me, any forward advancement, which is, of course, what we all want, right? And so I said, I've got to figure out something that's missing. There's something missing because I'm working really hard. I know there's lots of people like me doing the same thing, and they're feeling stressed. They're feeling like they're struggling or feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. And so I got to fix that. I'm just, you know me, Diane, I'm a nerd. I'm probably the nerdiest nerd in this industry. And that means that I have to break things down to their component molecules and figure out what's not working and then put it back together in a way that works for everybody. And that's why when you go to our website, when you go to noahstjohn.com, our main website, you'll see, if you go to the results page, you'll see just over 100 stories from people just like the folks watching right now, who we've helped to double or triple their income in less than a year. We've helped people to find love, lose weight. We work with celebrities, athletes, CEOs, working moms, network marketers, real estate professionals, health professionals, chiropractors. I mean, just literally people from all walks of life, military veterans, people, who really had tried everything else and are still stuck. Yes. And that brings me back to the topic of the book and to your question. So the point is, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and over 20 years, you start to see a lot of patterns. Mm-hmm. One of the patterns that I started to see from my coaching clients, from people who come to my live events, people who contact me to coach them, is, hey, Noah, I'm feeling stuck. And I hear you're the guy that helps people to get unstuck. I hear you're the guy that helps people to double or triple their income, help add multiple 6 or 7 figures or more to their business. And yes, I am that guy. And so I said, why do I keep hearing this? I keep hearing from everybody they're feeling stuck. And so I really set out to answer these key questions. Number 1, what is stuckness? Number 2, what causes it? And number 3, most importantly, how do we fix it? How do we get people unstuck? And I've been doing this for 20 years. And so I wanted to really break that process down in a way that anybody could understand and implement right away. So that's really where the book came from. And that's why people get very excited, because when something works, when you get results, like you just mentioned earlier in your introduction, you've been using my methods and they've worked for you, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what gets people excited.
It does get people excited. And when I first discovered your work, and it was exactly what you said, because I'm a student of life, I'm a sponge, I immerse myself in things. And when I read it, when I read Affirmations, I know we're talking about your new book, but I just want to tell everyone, when I read this book, I was so excited about it. I went and bought copies for all my girlfriends. We had a ladies' night that we would get together once a month, and I bought copies for everybody. And I said, you need to read this book because you, like you said, you said it in a different way. You exposed something that had never been exposed. And it was such a light bulb moment for me. I just loved it. And so, all right, so let's stay on the topic of stuck, because I hear this a lot from my clients too. So you say head trash is the #1 reason that people stay stuck. So what is head trash and how does it keep us stuck?
Yeah, absolutely. So that goes back to the point of why I wrote the book. And really all my books are, if you look at all of my books sort of as a totality, that's pretty much what I've been talking about for the last 20 plus years, is how to get unstuck, how to stop stopping yourself from the level of success you're capable of.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I realized after, helping people make so much money and lose weight and find love and, improve relationships and all the results that we've gotten, is that stuckness, one of the big causes of it is what I call head trash. Mm-hmm. So your head trash is that voice in your head that says, I can't do it because, ... And then you just fill in the blank. Well, no, I can't do it because I don't have the time. I can't do it because I don't have the money. I can't do it because it's not convenient. I can't do it because I didn't go to college, or I'm married, or I'm not married, or I have kids, or I don't have kids, or I'm a woman, or I'm a man, or I'm too old, or I'm too young. I mean, you see what I'm saying? We can find any excuse of why we can't do something.
Right.
But here's the key that I want folks to understand about your head trash and why it's keeping you stuck, which is you always make yourself right. See, we humans have an almost infinite capacity to make ourselves right. And so, for example, if you say to yourself, well, no, I can't do it because I don't have the time, you're going to make yourself right. And you're going to find, lo and behold, you don't have the time. Meanwhile, you're actually wasting hours every single day not doing things that are moving you towards your goal. I'll give you a quick example of this.
Okay.
So I was speaking at a conference. I get the privilege of speaking at a lot of conferences, like real estate conferences, network marketing conferences, entrepreneurial conferences all around the world. And so I was speaking this happened to be a real estate conference I was speaking at. And there's a fellow there named Brian, and he had never heard me before, didn't even really know the name Noah St. John, wasn't familiar with my work at all. But, just the things I was sharing with him, he really hit him. It really resonated with him. And he signed up for one of my online programs, and I was able to coach him. Well, he said that, before working with me, he really was struggling. He was going day to day, no clear path or vision. He was just working, but just sort of found himself chasing his tail a lot, wasting a lot of time or what have you, not being very productive. Mm-hmm. And so, I was able to show him some things of really how to make himself more productive, but really it's really about working less and making more. So I'm not talking about working 18 hours a day and, ignoring your family and, just doing that hustle thing that everybody talks about. I'm not saying they're wrong. Not really what I teach. Yes, you do have to do the work. It's not like you press a button and money comes out. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, it doesn't really seem to work that way on planet Earth. Maybe there's a planet that works on, and I'd be happy to move there, but it ain't the Earth.
Right.
My point is, Brian says that now what used to take him hours every single day now takes him just 15 minutes in a day. So imagine getting hours back in your day. What could you do with all that time? Because right now you may be saying, well, no, I don't have the time.
Right.
Yeah, but you actually do, because time is not at all the issue. Right. Me, you, Mark Cuban, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, we all have the same 24 hours.
Yes, we do.
And all of Bill Gates' billions can't buy 1 minute of yesterday. Exactly. So the point is that now Brian has, just did what I showed him how to do. And now he's got, instead of hours that he's not getting it done, now he works just 15 minutes, gets it done. Now he also said, he was very excited by this, that using my methods, he did $95,000 in sales in just 12 days. 12 days, 95,000 in sales. That was like what he had made in at least half a year prior to that.
Right.
So we got that down to 12 days. So just imagine. So one of the things that's so exciting when you start to get rid of your head trash, when you start to, do the work that we show you, what I say is that you're compressing time. See, because you're going to make the money anyway. Most people make $1 million in their career. The only problem is it takes them 40 years, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of a problem. So imagine just compressing that time so that instead of taking 40 years to make that million, you know, maybe do it in half the time or 1/4 of the time or 1/5 the time, 1/10 the time or less.
Yes.
See, so now you've got the rest of your life and you can be making more and more money. Now, the other thing that Brian did was he wanted to leave a legacy. And, you know, we all do, right? We all want to leave a legacy for a family, for, you know, our community and really for the world. And so what he set out to do was raise money for his church. He wanted to leave a legacy at his church, you know, because he'd gotten that spiritual food and that nourishment that we all need. And so what he did was he raised $1.2 million for his church. And he said to me, Noah, I never thought I could do that before. I never, ever even dreamed. That was bigger than I could dream. Right. And so the point is, not only did it work for him, not only did it work for his family, it also worked for his church, his community. And really, that's leaving a legacy like we all want to leave.
Right, right. I love everything that you said, and I agree with everything that you said. And time is not outside of us like everybody thinks. And you're right, it's that head trash. It's those limiting beliefs that I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. There's not enough time. I'm too old, right? All that head trash that stops us. So I love the fact that you are changing the lives of so many people in such a powerful, positive way. And it's interesting because you also talk about, now I can't remember which book I read it in of yours, or what, I think it was The Power of Success Habits. Am I saying that title wrong? About confidence too. And
I have a book called The Secret Code of Success. I think that's the one you're referring. I used to have it on my desk here. Well, here. No, that's Chinese. I've got the Chinese version of the Book of Affirmations here. That just came out. So for those of you in China, we have that for you. Anyway, I used to have my books right here on my desk, but somebody took them. Anyway, so yeah, it's called The Secret Code of Success.
All right, so let's talk about affirmations because I know what they are. I know how powerful they are.
Right.
What are they and how are they different from traditional affirmations?
Right. So everybody watching this program right now knows what an affirmation is, right? A traditional affirmation, which they've been teaching us for decades, right? So as we all know, an affirmation is a statement of something you want to be true. So, for example, at my live events, like we have a live event coming up in Las Vegas called Freedom Lifestyle Experience. And at my live event, or when I get to speak at conferences like entrepreneurial conferences or network marketing or real estate conference, I like to have everybody stand up and I say, okay, everybody, we're gonna say this traditional affirmation just like they taught us. So we're gonna use a classic affirmation. So everybody say, I am rich. And everybody goes, I am rich. And you know what happens next? Everybody starts laughing.
Right.
And I go, well, what are you laughing at?
Yeah.
And they say, well, I'm not rich. And I said, yeah, you said you were. And they go, yeah, but I don't believe it. See, now that's the problem, right? There's nothing wrong with the statement. The problem is we don't believe the statement. Now, of course, the traditional teachers said, well, if you don't believe your statement, all you have to do is repeat it 1,000 million billion a cajillion times, and then you'll believe it someday, right? We've only heard this 1,000,000 times, right? So just like everybody, I tried it because, hey, if that's all they tell you to do, what are you supposed to do? You have to go with what they tell you. So I've read every book, I read all these books just like everybody else watching. And I said, okay, well, if that's what they tell you. But I mean, it never worked. I couldn't get it to work. I was so frustrated because I did everything they said to do. Write it in the positive, put it on your walls. And I mean, I never got anything. I am happy, I'm rich, I'm successful. No, I'm not. I'm broke, I'm miserable, and I'm frustrated.
Right, right.
So it was so frustrating. So anyway, so one morning I was in the shower. This was April 1997. And in my book of affirmations, I call it the shower that changed everything. Right? Now, we've all had those aha moments in the shower, right? Those aha moments, the shower fairy.
I love those moments.
Oh, yeah, they're great. So this particular shower, it was the shower that changed everything. So I was thinking about this, what I just shared with you, that how come I've been doing everything they tell me to do? I'm following the instructions. I'm getting nothing. I was so frustrated. And I said, well, wait a minute. What are we talking about? We're talking about beliefs, right? Because if you want to change your life, you have to change your beliefs. I knew that was right. But what is the belief? Well, a belief is just a thought. Okay, so what's thought? And the more that I thought about that question, I realized that human thought is the process of asking and searching for answers to questions, not statements. So let me give you an example. Why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? Now, for everybody watching, what just happened in your brain? Your brain started to search for the answer, right? Right? So just like a computer search or a Google search, your brain's like a computer. And so your brain started searching its files. The sky is blue because, I don't know, but it's searching, right? And in fact, you couldn't not do that. You could not do it. You had to do it. It happened without your own volition. So I said, now, wait a second. If the human mind is automatically searching for answers to questions, why are we going around making statements we don't believe? Why don't we just cut out the middleman? And I said, I don't know, what would that look like? This is a really long shower, by the way. So I said, all right, well, let's see. You got this statement or affirmation, which is what they've been telling us for all these years. I am rich. And your brain says, yeah, right. And that's what I call it in the book. The yeah, right response. That's what your brain says. Yeah, right. That's why everybody laughs. So I said, okay, if that's the statement, then what would the question be? And then I said, why am I so rich? Why am I so rich? Why am I so rich? Now ask yourself that question. And when you start to ask the question, what starts to happen in your brain? You start to search for the answer, right?
You do. Searches for the answer. And it's so different because if you say, I am rich, it's dead. Like it literally has nothing to hold on to. But when you say, why am I so rich? You can actually feel it going on, like feel your brain figuring it out and visualize yourself rich, whatever that meaning is for you. That's what the light bulb was for me too. When I read that, I went that, oh my God. Yeah. So, all right.
It is. Because what we're talking about is sowing and reaping. As you sow, so shall you reap. Now, this is nothing new. But what are we sowing? We're sowing seeds of thought. And yet, what are most people doing? Sowing lousy thought seeds.
Yes.
Why am I so stupid? Why am I so fat? Why can't I lose weight? Why isn't my business growing? Why can't I get more clients? Why is there more month left at the end of the money? And if you ask lousy questions, what do you get?
You get
lousy answers, right? And that creates a lousy life. So as I was standing there in a shower, I said, wait a second. What if instead of asking lousy questions that lead to lousy answers and create a lousy life, what if we just flip the whole thing on its head and start asking empowering questions that lead to phenomenal answers and create a wonderful life? And as I was standing there in the shower, April 1997, I said, holy cow, I think I just invented something. And so I had to give it a name. And as you just showed, what I call it is, what I named it was Affirmations, Affformations, Affirmations. So what a lot of people ask me, and just to finish the thought, I realized, wow, this could really help a lot of people. I just have to tell people about it. So remember I said earlier that I wanted to say something different, not just regurgitate the same thing that everybody else says. Well, that's when it happened. That's when I knew I had my discovery, my thing that made me different, that made everything make sense that everybody was missing before. In fact, that's why we call it the missing piece to having abundance, because that's what thousands of people have told me. Thank you, Noah, for giving me the missing piece. This is the missing piece I've been looking for my whole life. I can't tell you how many people have said that to me over the last 20 plus years. So I decided to write a book and publish a book. I didn't know anything about books or publishing. Remember, this was long before Kindle and Amazon and print on demand and all the things we have today. This was 1997, more than 20 years ago. We were still on dial-up back then. Remember? Remember that? I mean, it was awful.
To my twins, so I know it was a while.
Right, exactly. So the point is, I just self-published the ugliest book you've ever seen. It's called Permission to Succeed, and I just self-published it. I put up the ugliest website you've ever seen. So now I got the ugliest book you've ever seen, the ugliest website you've ever seen. But you know what? People found me. They started buying my book. They would just send me checks or send me money, and I'd ship them the book, and then they'd start to change their lives. I got all these amazing stories, and then I met Jack Canfield. And he was winning an award. This was 10 years before The Secret. This was long before The Secret came out, if you remember that movie. The point is, and Jack loved my work. He said, hey, Noah, I love this. I'm going to send this to my publisher. And 8 weeks later, I got a call from the Chicken Soup for the Soul people. And that's how my first book, called Permission to Succeed, was published by HCI, the Chicken Soup people. And now I am, as you mentioned, the only author in history that's been published by Hay House, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Mind Valley, Nightingale Conan, and the Chicken Soup for the Soul publisher. So that's how it all started. It all started with the shower that changed everything.
You see how that moment, and you acted on it right away, and you dug through it, and you figured it out, and it's so fantastic. Congratulations on your massive success. All right.
Thank you.
I want to ask another important question, because you talk about in the book the 3 big mistakes even smart people make when it comes to reaching their goals. So what are they, and how do we avoid them?
Right. Absolutely. So yes, you're right. In fact, that is when you get this book, Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money, you'll see the subtitle is How to Avoid the 3 Big Money Mistakes Even Smart People Make. And I know everybody watching this program is very smart, but yet you might be making one or more of these mistakes and not even know it. So the first mistake is not getting rid of your head trash about money, right? Just not getting rid of it. And as we've already talked about how this can affect everything, right? Having that negative voice in your head. So just, one of the things I have my coaching clients do is write down these negative beliefs and how they're affecting your life. So you can just see that. Like I was working with one of my clients, and I went through this exercise. I said, so, what's one of your head trashes about money? She said, well, I think I'm a bad money manager. And I said, well, how's that affecting you? She said, well, when money comes in, it goes right out. I'm going, would you like to stop that? She goes, yeah. So, but you see what I mean? Just these little things that make a huge difference. And we don't even realize they're there sometimes. So we just have, first step is to become conscious of it. So that's the first big mistake I see people make. The second big mistake is not having the right mentor and trying to do everything yourself. So at successclinic.com, what we teach is that a mentor is 3 things. First, a mentor is someone who's where you want to be. So for example, if you want to publish a book, if you want to write a book, have your books published, you should work with a published author. If you want to have online programs, you should work with somebody who has online programs and has made money doing that. So, the point is, the problem is that's the easy part, because you can't turn on Facebook these days without seeing some dude saying, hey man, look at all this money I've made. Look at all my cool stuff. Right. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. We all want nice things. But the problem is, have they taught anybody else, or is it all about their stuff? Is it all about them and their success? And 99 times out of 100 it's all about them. So that's where we come to the second phase. And that is, whether you work with me, whether you hire me as a mentor, work with my company, or work with somebody else, we really believe that you should find somebody who's had success for other people. Yes. In other words, do they have a system, or is it just all about them? So we talk about the difference between personality-driven success and system-driven success. Personality-driven success is just what it sounds like. It's dependent on that person's personality. Well, that's great for that person, but what about the rest of us, right? If you don't have that particular personality, you may be out of luck. But if you have a system, then you know that it can work for people just like you. So that's why when you go to our website, when you go to workingwithnoah.com, you can go right to workingwithnoah.com, and you can see over 100 success stories of people just like you, the folks watching this program. And you can see that we've helped people to go from $60,000 in debt to a 6-figure income in less than a year. People go from $5,000 to $75,000 a month in less than 6 months. I mean, just incredible, but real life stories of real people who my system has helped. So you need to find a system so that because it has to work for everybody, not just one person. Yeah, exactly. Okay, or not just that personality. And then the third thing, and this is really, really crucial, and this is so rare nowadays, is will that mentor actually help you? Will they actually help you get where you want to go? Look, I've had that experience, probably many of you have, where, you pay someone some, the money, and then they disappear, and all of a sudden you're trying to get some help and they're off in Bangladesh or something. And it's like, hello.
Yes. They overpromise and underdeliver.
Right. Exactly. We've all had that happen. I know I have, and probably most of us have. So it sucks. I mean, it really hurts, and it costs money, and you don't get the result. And so that's why you want to look for someone who's been doing it for a long time, who's got results for other people, not just themselves. So we really recommend you look for those 3 things when you're looking to hire a mentor. And then just real quick, the third big mistake I see people making, which I talk about in the book, is having too much information and without giving yourself permission to succeed. All right. So my argument is we're all drowning in information. There's no lack of, one of the phrases we have at Success Clinic, there's no lack of information, but there's a definite lack of transformation.
Yes.
Okay. So we have we're drowning in information. which I call shelf help. A lot of people have a lot of shelf help.
Yes.
Right. In fact, I had one of my a leader in a network marketing company, and I've spoken to his 1,000 or so people recently on his team, and he texted me. He said, Noah, you know what? I read your books, and I just got rid of my shelf help. He took a picture of it, and he says, I'm donating it. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to do that. I'm just saying when you find something that works, it's pretty exciting. So what we focus on at Success Clinic is transformation. Yes, I understand you need to get some information, but what I've seen over the last 20 plus years of working with tens of thousands of people, helping people make tens of millions of dollars, is for most people, it's not a lack of information. It's just not giving themselves permission to succeed. Right.
So true. And what a huge limiting belief, that they're not worthy of doing it. And all of those fill in the blanks, right?
Right.
So powerful. This is so good. I love this. All right. So now what I want to talk about, two things. First, how can the audience get access to your book, Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money?
Yes, absolutely. So the book is called Get Rid of Your Head Trash About Money. It's very, very easy. All you have to do is go to sendmeabooknoah.com. Very easy to remember. Sendmeabooknoah.com, and I will send you a book. Now, when you go to sendmeabooknoah.com, there's two options. Option one is you can download the digital version of this for free, this book, and you can get that for free. Just, read it on your phone or whatever you want. And the other option is you can get the hard copy. If you want to get the hard copy of this book, the actual book that you can hold in your hand and write in, and we, see people marking it and writing it, which I like to do with books. Yes. I've covered the cost of the book. So the book is free. We just ask you to cover the shipping cost. So we ship anywhere in the United States or even around the world. And so we just ask you to cover the shipping. So the book is free. I've covered the cost of the book because you're watching this program. And then we just ask you to cover the shipping. So all of that is available at sendmeabooknoah.com.
Love it. Okay. This is amazing, as usual. I just love and adore and admire and respect you so much, which is why I want us to talk about what's going on next week. So yes. Noah and I are going to be doing a webinar together, and it's titled Freedom Lifestyle Experience. Now, what I love about this is the ultimate goal that people are going for is freedom, right? When you break down your why, especially you, I love this. When you really break down your why, what is it that we ultimately are doing this for, right? Freedom, right? So you've created this freedom lifestyle experience, and we're going to do a webinar together on Wednesday, October 2nd. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and we have a link to register here. Now, here's the deal. It's free. It's free, people. You need to block off the time, get in there right away, register for it, because I've just had Noah on the show for 30 minutes and listen to all the amazing value that he's offered here. Imagine what it's going to be like on the webinar. It's going to be extraordinary, and you don't want to miss an opportunity like this, because I'm so impressed with the way you've done this. And in case you haven't picked up on this during this show, what Noah talks about, and I talk about this too, and you've been doing this for 20 years. So you have case study after case study after case study, is the changes in your life of the things that you want, whether it's money and success, whether it's love and relationship or health or whatever it is, can happen fast. It's just a limiting belief that it can't. But if you don't have the right tools and systems and processes in place, you're going to keep staying stuck. So register, click the link below. It's right there. It says noahstjohn.com/Diane to get into this webinar for us with us next week. And you will walk away with so many amazing takeaways, like I do every time I experience your work, Noah. It's amazing. It's life-changing. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add about it?
Well, I'm very excited to do the webinar with you next week, Diane. And of course, I really enjoyed today. And we will be answering your questions. So there will be time for Q&A, and it'll be it's highly interactive, and it's really action-packed. So it will be about 45 minutes of your life that really could change your life. And we've seen it happen for a lot of folks. And we'd definitely like to invite everybody watching and listening to join us at noahstjohn.com/Diane. Very easy to remember, noahstjohn.com/Diane.
Easy, yeah. Oh, it's so amazing. Oh, this has been an amazing show. All right, so two final things. So I ask, and I'm going to put you on the spot, but that's okay because I know you'll have a great answer. I ask every one of my guests, how do you live the I have today way, meaning intentionally present in the moment?
The number one way that I do that, Diane, is gratitude. I believe gratitude is the master emotion that really leads to all other good emotions like happiness, joy, fulfillment, serenity, peace of mind. I believe that it all stems from having that attitude of gratitude. So to be thankful for everything that I have today. That is the main thing that I do that keeps me in the moment, that keeps me present, so that I can live for today with that attitude of gratitude.
I love it. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And then do you have any other final thoughts that you'd like to leave the audience with?
Yeah, absolutely. Just folks, everybody, make sure to take advantage of these. These are all free resources that we're offering you today. Send me a book, noah.com. The book is free. And then noahstjohn.com/Diane. The webinar is free. So we'd love to get you. We want to get you the help that you're looking for, whether it's in your business, in your finances, in your health, in your relationships. We just have so many case studies of people just like you who have gotten amazing results using my methodologies. So we'd love to help you as well. So be sure to take advantage of those and be sure to give yourself permission to succeed.
Yes, that's beautiful. All right, I just want to read you one comment here. It says, it's from Tanya Pluckrose. Hi, Tanya, how are you? Hi, Diane, I am loving this interview today. What a super guest to have on your show. I have just read his book and it has made a huge difference already in my daily life. So Tanya, thank you for sharing that, and thank you so much for being here today. So, all right. On that note, we're gonna go. Don't forget, click on the links to get register for the webinar next Tuesday, October 2nd, and then of course get Noah's book for free at sendmeabooknoah.com. And as always, it's been an honor and a privilege to spend time with you, Noah, and I look forward to doing it again next week and seeing you soon. And thank you all for being here. If you were new, first time here, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're returning, so grateful that you're here. We're nothing without you. So on that note, take care. This is Diane Forster with I Have Today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.